Hi, I'm Stacy with Edgewater Creative.
And I'm Tia with Done Classy Events.
We're two small business owners who reside in the beautiful city of Dunedin, Florida.
We love our charming city on the Gulf and want to share with you all it has to offer.
Join us as we chat with business owners, event hosts, and charities located in Dunedin and other surrounding communities.
So come along and meet us on Main Street. You have landed on your favorite podcast, which is Meet Us on Main Street. Da 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 da. Only people on the video knows what the fuck that sound was.
The most ridiculous sound effects of zero budget, zero quality.
I need one of those
the whistle, yeah.
I'll just insert, instead of finding sounds, which you usually have to pay for, I'm just going to keep going, insert this sound here. And then people can just visualize, like you on the Peloton.
Yeah, exactly.
We have sound effects on our show. Anyways, so this is Tia, crazy waving arm person extraordinaire.
And this is Stacy, crazy pedaling leg person extraordinaire.
You don't see it unless you're watching the video, but she's crazily
They're pedaling like crazy.
Pedaling her feet like so fast, like going, I wish I was home. I wish I was home. So I'm on my Peloton at www.pelotonbike.com.
Onepeloton.com.
Onepeloton.com. I saw a Peloton van, which I did not realize they did that until you got yours, which is so freaking fancy. But I saw one outside of Dunedin Brewery, which I knew it was for the artisan apartments.
The same day.
Yeah,
probably, unless someone else got it.
Maybe. I mean, there's a quite pricey building,
but
so I'm sure one person saw it.
I saw one parked there too, and I got so excited for the person that was getting a Peloton.
Were you like waiting outside, like, is it you? You want to be my Peloton buddy?
So I'm part of a couple Peloton community groups on Facebook, and I'm glad to know that I'm not the only like crazy Peloton person, because other people have posted this where like they'll see someone like wearing a Peloton shirt, or like a neighbor with like a Peloton getting delivered, and they'll be like, Peloton, like all excited, and the person will just be like, yeah, Peloton. Like totally not into it
because they haven't ridden it yet.
Exactly.
That's the thing. And then as soon as they're on that first ride, they're like, Peloton.
Yep. And it just continues on.
So besides Pelotoning, been up to anything fun lately? You just got back in town.
So yeah, I just got back from a journey to my hometown of Florence, New Jersey.
Italy? Oh, Jersey.
No, I wish.
That's good too.
Yeah, I as Tia knows, I had to fly up to New Jersey to drive my mother and her dog down here to stay for a few weeks. And the airlines changed their policies, which is why I had to do that, because she can no longer transport Buster on the airplane. So that was a long drive. It was nice to see my family and friends back home.
Oh, well, that is fantastic. I'm glad you had a nice drive and that you're back here safe in sweltering hot Florida. Speaking of weather, though, I burnt the crap out of myself at the Rays game, the last one at the TD ballpark.
You mean the Jays?
Well, I went for the Rays, but yes, it was the Jays Stadium.
The Jays Rays.
The Jays. Yeah, I actually met the entire cast of Schitt's Creek. It was fantastic. I got my photo with Eugene Levy.
They look so thin. They really need to eat something.
I know. And usually the camera adds 10 pounds. So, I mean, think about how thin they really were. John met Ryan Reynolds, which just all of those cutouts that they have at that stadium just makes you realize what kind of Canadian royalty we really have going for us in our entertainment business. Like we've got some good ones. Ryan Gosling was there.
So it's
Yeah.
only
Mhm.
Canadian.
Yep. Canadian,
Wise.
either fans or actors that they have in
That's
there.
I have to say that's pretty clever.
Yeah.
Whoever came up
Right.
with that, clever.
We also just had a virtual movie night. That was a lot of fun. We watched Mrs.
Mhm.
Doubtfire. My mom.
Hello. That's how we should have started the episode.
Ugh, I know. There's a lot of things we should do. That was fun. My mom came on. I taught her how to use Zoom.
Yes, your mom. Jesus. Leave that.
My mom has that effect on me too.
I attempted to cough away from the mic that time. Yes, your mom, who is Brian's number one fan, and she was wearing her Team Brian t-shirt.
She gave it back to me now, so we can auction it off to the highest bidder. It's starting off at $75. Handcrafted, one of a kind Team Brian t-shirt from Virtual Movie Night. So you just email us at meetusonmainstreetpodcast@gmail.com and we're going to start this bidding war. Come on, guys. This
bonus. It hasn't been washed.
Bonus, it's still got my mom all over it, guys.
Enjoy. It could also have some remnants of Harley's gourmet popcorn.
That's true, because my mom had gotten some too, which worked out perfectly that Brian could not make it down to get Harley's. So he was without, but my mom had some. So win-win all around.
She probably thought she would get to share it with him.
Maybe next time when we do a live one, if we ever end up making it down their way, but we shall see. So Stacy, who do we have on the show today?
So today on our show, we have from the Kiwanis Club of Dunedin, Justin Spinello and Ellie Fox, who are going to tell us a little bit about what the Kiwanis Club of Dunedin is and what they do and how you too can become a member. So stay tuned.
Hey guys, meet us on Main Street here. Stacy and I are all about staying young and beautiful, so we wanted to share with you a salon that we recently discovered to take care of all of our beauty needs.
That's right, Tia. Beauty on Broadway offers everything from the most complex hair treatments like keratin and balayage to advanced permanent makeup for lips, brows, eyeliner, and even scalp micropigmentation. The owner, Mary Katz, is a nationally certified and recognized trainer for permanent makeup who holds over 25 certifications from the most prominent artists around the world. So she really knows her stuff.
And everyone who works there are true professionals who make sure their clients get exactly what they want.
You know what else is awesome about them? They do free paramedical tattooing for all breast cancer survivors.
That is awesome. And they were just ranked among the best in the nation for their COVID-19 procedures. So you have a clean and safe space to go get away from the world and just let loose.
You guys seriously need to go check them out. Visit their website for more information and to make your appointment today at beautyonbroadway.salon. All right, welcome to another episode of Meet Us on Main Street. We are here with Ellie Fox and Justin Spinello of the Kiwanis Club of Dunedin. Justin is the vice president of the Dunedin Kiwanis Club this year, and Ellie is the treasurer and also lieutenant governor of our division of Kiwanis Club of Dunedin. And I say our because I am also a member of the Dunedin Kiwanis Club. So I'm so excited to have you guys on the show today for us to share what the Kiwanis Club of Dunedin does with the local area and for the local area. So before we get into that, tell us a little bit about yourselves, starting with you, Justin. I randomly picked you because you're on the left.
Oh, well, that's read left to right, right? It's great to be on. Thanks both of you for inviting us and letting us take up some of your time. And let's see a little about me. I moved to Dunedin in 2016, shortly before Hurricane Irma tore through here. And, you know, everybody preached that there's never a hurricane on this coastline, but
it still wasn't a hurricane. That doesn't count.
We did get very, very lucky, yes. But was a huge eye opener, and you could tell that nobody had knowledge of what to expect. But I'm from the other coast of Florida originally, in the West Palm area, if you're familiar. And I was very accustomed to hurricanes. So it was false hope when I got here, and then, it's Florida. You can't avoid it, right?
Exactly.
But for the most part, I have a wife and a child, and we live pretty central in Dunedin. So we get to experience all the things that go on around town, and we love your show because you've actually opened our eyes to lots of things that we thought we knew and we don't. So I guess that would make me a first-time caller, long-time listener.
And now
We
our
love
official
those.
our official favorite guest, and you're our new opening to our podcast. You're going to be the new intro with that glowing recommendation. Thank you.
It's fantastic. I'm glad I could help in some capacity. But yeah, no. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell, I suppose. How about you, Ellie?
Well, thank you for this opportunity, of course, because we're going to tell you about the best kept secret in Dunedin. But I came here back in, 1970, a long time
Nice.
ago. I married a guy, though, who was born and raised in Florida, Clearwater, Florida, and his mother did too. So I'm married to a true Floridian.
Me too.
Between him and I, we have 3 boys, and I'm very involved with the scouting program. In fact, just in February, we started a girls troop in the Boy Scouts of America in Dunedin, the first for Dunedin. So I have a big volunteering background. I did retire twice, so now I'm officially retired. And so all my time now is spent on volunteering between scouting and Kiwanis.
Well, you definitely stay busy, especially in the Kiwanis clubs, which we were just discussing before we started recording. So tell us what your positions are in all the clubs. So you're not just involved with Dunedin Kiwanis, you're involved with the Largo Club, and I'll let you take it away because I don't want to mess it up.
No, it's fine. Right, currently until September 30th, I'm the Lieutenant Governor of our division. And we have 7 clubs in our division, and they go from Largo up to Trinity in the West Pasco area. Of course, my home club is Dunedin. That's where I started in 2005. And the reason I'm a member of the Palm Harbor Club is when I was Lieutenant Governor 3 years ago, the goal of our governor, our Kiwanis governor, was to start new clubs. So in order to start a new club, you have to belong to it. And then in Largo, I joined a few years ago to help them grow. So I love Kiwanis and what we do for the children in our area, and that's why I do what I do.
And you are the Kiwanis expert. So if we ever have a question, I know if Justin and I ever have a question, we go to you for everything when it comes to Kiwanis because you have such a history and background of it. So tell us a little bit, what is the Kiwanis Club and where does the name Kiwanis Club or Kiwanis come from for those of our listeners that don't know, that may have just heard the name Kiwanis and they're like, what the heck is that?
Well, Kiwanis started back in 1915 in Detroit, Michigan. Kiwanis is an Indian name, the Saginaw Chippewa Indian from obviously Michigan. From their language, Kiwanis, it had many meanings, but it was good time, make noise, and advertise, and also somewhere in there is we build. So back in 1915, we were created. A few years later, we became international. We started with Canada, and now today, every country has at least one Kiwanis club in it. And what Kiwanis is, we help children. That's our goal. In fact, the motto is making a difference one child and one community at a time.
Tell us a little bit about the Dunedin Kiwanis Club.
Well, I know over the 60 years, we've done a lot. And we are the best kept secret because we only have 25 members at this time. And the place we're meeting is Marguerite's Cafe it's Plaza Drive, but I consider it Douglas Avenue next to the Dunedin Public Library. But we're going to soon outgrow that room we're in. So we're going to be looking for a new place that can hold us all now that COVID is starting to, get better. And we do meet in person, but we also have a Zoom aspect of the meeting where other people can sit from home and be part of the meeting. And we do a lot of planning. We have of course, our major fundraiser coming up we're trying to catch up because of last year. The Kiwanis Midnight Run is on July 3rd. And right now we're doing live and virtual. And so we're trying to make up for lost time. It's going to be great this year. It's brand new. We're going to be at Frenchie's Outpost. The start and finish is going to be there at Frenchie's.
Oh, nice.
And so that's a new aspect this year of it. We're going to try to make it bigger and better to make up for last year when we couldn't have it live.
Mm-hmm.
So we are I'm looking forward to it this year, as a matter of fact. I am the race director of it, and we share the responsibility with the Top of the Bay Kiwanis Club that's over in Countryside, Oldsmont. So a long time ago, brothers Henry and Henry was in our club, and his brother was in the other club, and I can't think of his name right now. But they joined forces to make it bigger and better. And it's our 42nd year, so it's been going on a long time. We are definitely established in Dunedin, so it's kind of a big deal.
So just
Stacey, if you go, I will.
I will be volunteering for it that night. As I did last time it was held in person. So for those of you that aren't familiar with the Midnight Run, it is, well, close enough to midnight. It technically starts at 11:30, right?
Yeah, well, we have a 1 mile race, walk run, and that starts at 11:15. And then we have a 5K that's going to start at 11:40. And then at midnight is our 10K run that actually goes into Honeymoon Island and turns around and comes back to Frenchie.
Yep. Yeah, if you've never done it before, I highly recommend it. Even if it's just the 1 mile, it's an experience like no other. I remember the very first time that I did the race, and we're good friends with Joe Garrison, who is another longtime member of the Kiwanis Club of Dunedin. And he had invited us to it, and I had no idea what it was going to be, really. I think this was back in like 2008, so I was still fairly new to this area. And so my aunt and I went up there, and I was wearing regular clothes, and she had signed us up for the 1 mile. And so I thought I was just going to like casually walk 1 mile, and they shot the gun off to go, and I was so like inspired that I just started running in my regular clothes. And I mean, up until that point, now I'm a runner, but back at that point in time, I was not. I don't think I had run since high school, and that was like the first time I had run a mile since I was in high school, and I was like, wow, this is great. I mean, honestly, nothing like it. Groups of people at 11:30 at night running the causeway. It's great. It's a fun time.
Yeah, it is.
It's really unique. And we have another run called the Adventure Run that's also pretty unique. It's on Honeymoon Island on the trail and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So the two runs that we host are, I think, different from your typical runs that you would see. Like, I know it's fun to run across bridges or along island chains or whatever, but I don't know any that start at midnight.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And while we're talking about the Adventure Run, Justin, do you want to say a little bit more about what that race does and when that is? That's another big fundraiser for the Kiwanis Club of Dunedin.
It's a really unique run. It's on Honeymoon Island. It's through the trails. It's I think a 3K and a 5K. And the 3K will take you through the trails, and then the 5K there's a turnoff. You keep going, and you actually run up and down the beach on the north end. In the sand and everything. It's very cool. And the people will just be out there, picking up shells or doing their normal beach activities. And they look around, I'm like, why are all these people running around? but it's a good time. A lot of festivities, good food too. And, easy, fun.
Justin, I'm just going to correct you on one thing. Being that I ran the Adventure Run for the very first time last year, so I'm clearly an expert in it. It was definitely more than a 5K, which is why I'm looking it up, because I felt so accomplished afterward.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm looking up to know the exact detail on that, because I don't remember. It's a 5K or 5 miles.
Oh,
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sure. 5K or 5 miles.
Yeah. It was because I remember it being the longest run I had done at that point. So I was very proud of my 5 miles that I ran through the muddy trails of Honeymoon Island, and then also the north end of the beach.
Yeah.
That's
Definitely an
not for the
adventure.
faint of heart.
Yeah. I know. I asked you this whenever that year was. I don't remember this year.
I think it was
last
this
year. I
year.
was like,
This
yeah,
year.
and I was like, I haven't trained at all, but should I do this? And you're like, no, this is
No.
not one of those races that you should. I was like, all right,
Okay.
understood.
Yeah, I was like, I trained for months before that and I still struggled a little bit. So, not one to jump into, but a good one for established runners. Beginner runners, Midnight Run is definitely
Mhm.
for you. And good news is it's coming up soon, July 4th, or technically July 3rd.
Can you
3rd to July
register?
4th.
Can you register for it now?
Oh, yes, it's open registration on KiwanisMidnightRun.com. You go on the site and it takes you right to registration and explains everything and takes down your information. And everything's going to be online registration. We're not going to have much on the night of like we usually do because of our COVID restrictions with the city of Dunedin. So everything's going to be online. Even the day of, you can still register online and show up, but it has to be done online.
We also have a Facebook page as well that will
Mhm.
probably will provide a link that can take you to that web page and also show you some pictures and things like that.
Yep.
That's true.
If you go to the Dunedin Kiwanis Club's Facebook page, there is an event built in for that already with information. And also, do we want to shout out any major sponsors for the event?
Well, definitely. Our biggest sponsor, and has always been for years and years, is Dunedin East Hospital, part of the Baycare system. They are our major sponsor. Frenchies, of course, they're in kind, letting us use their facilities and all. And just being there, I think that's a plus. Frenchies is really helping us out a lot. We have other sponsors, of course, Publix and Joe Garrison, who's also a CPA and a member of our club. We have Roman and Roman Law Offices. House of Mercy and Encouragement is a sponsor as well. Logo Pro, who does our t-shirts, and Dr. Delgado signed on again this year. And we have, anyway, to become a sponsor, also go to our website and definitely any support we get is much appreciated.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So we talked a little bit about the big fundraisers that the club does. One that we didn't mention is the golf classic that just passed
Yes.
last week or the week before. So that's another big fundraiser. Any others that I'm missing that?
Well, we're always at Ace Hardware every once in a while having our hot dog sales for the Every Child a Swimmer program. We raise money for that. And we also raise money for amputee camp. We send children to a summer camp for amputees up in North Carolina that we raise funds for. So there's always something going on. It's just, those are our three major ones, the Midnight Adventure and the golf tournament. But we always have little ones along the way.
Yeah. And Ace Hardware probably deserves a shout out as well because they
Oh,
really support us
definitely.
in everything that we do. They really go above and beyond. And we really appreciate their help. I don't know if we could accomplish nearly as much without them.
Yeah.
Nice.
The Ace Hardware that's on Main Street, the Vision Ace Hardware, they're phenomenal. They even come out and volunteer at registration at their Midnight Run and adventure runs too. They're definitely a community service minded. I love it. I love that store. It's not a hardware store, it's everything store.
It is.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the Every Child a Swimmer program. Tell us a little bit about that and the partnership between the city of Dunedin and Kiwanis Club with that program.
Yes, well, we started it several years ago, and as of this year, we had one session this year. It was restricted, but we still had one. We serve over 1,000 children, and it's such an important program because so many little lives are lost drowning in pools. And we teach them how to survive. If they fall in the pool, they can get to the side of the pool, and it's just, we just have it in our heart. I mean, that's a major, we just support them totally.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else to say. It's phenomenal. The program, like I said, we just ended it this year for this year, but the pool, the Dunedin pool, and we partner, and the city is just very open to all our projects. And we just really, oh, I don't know what else to say. They're just a great partner.
Now, speaking of the partnership with the city of Dunedin, a lot of our listeners might be familiar with the Kiwanis spray ground at Highlander Pool.
My nephew loves that place.
Yeah. It's one of our projects, like our community projects, that obviously is pretty well known, even to people outside of the town of Dunedin, who will remark about how kind of unique and like specially squeezed in there that it is. And I've used it as well. My child loves it, and it's every couple of years we have the opportunity to gift a project to the town in some capacity, and this is organized through Kiwanis International, which is somebody who will provide us a grant as well to help us fund projects of our choosing based off of how we work with the town and what we want to have accomplished and what purposes we're trying to serve. Obviously, that's a great one for kids. We also have the Kiwanis Pocket Park on the water off of San Salvador, which is probably a little less known, but just as out in the open for people to enjoy. If you find yourself over there around dusk, you'll find it's a hot spot for people to park and go and watch the sunset. And it's just a nice little lot on the water, bench.
Justin, you're not supposed to tell people about it. That's my secret park that I like.
Yeah, it'll get a lot more crowded now, but the whole purpose is to enjoy it, right? So you can also run over the day, do a little fishing, things like that. So it's a nice little spot, just a hidden little gem. And one of the more recent ones is the Kiwanis Vit Zone at Weaver Park, and it's an outdoor exercise area that gets a lot of use, particularly when COVID started and all the gyms and everything else shut down. Everybody ran over there to try and get little workouts in that they could, and it became a pretty popular spot, myself included. When I first moved to town, it's in walking distance for me, so I went over there very often to utilize. So every 5 years, give or take a year, depending upon project and the need for the community, we try to come out with something.
So, Justin, I understand that you're working on a new club project for the community. So, can you tell us a little bit about that? Can you spill the beans on that one?
We can break ground here on your show and make an official announcement of the latest project that the Dunedin Kiwanis Club is working on. And it is actually pretty unique. It's an archery range that we're going for. And the idea kind of came up in the context of, I guess, just being green on the topic. We knew that there was nowhere readily available for that type of sport to be played. And in the start of the project, we found that the Dunedin Community Center already has an archery program. So then we wised up and communicated with them for a while, learned a lot. I think the original intention was we'll just earmark one area of a park for this little designated zone with a couple of targets out there. And it turns out that we have so many resources at our disposal and so many people who are interested because of that lack of availability that it can be really whatever we, the town, decide want it to be, and still maintain our standard of green space and environmental friendliness, get kids outdoors. It's something that anybody can do. And that's really kind of the focal point of our latest project. Is we found something that we believe is family friendly. Everybody can do it. Anybody can do it. It's one of the most versatile sports in terms of those with handicaps are able to do it. Children, adults, the elderly. There's even a 3-generation family in the archery program if you find yourself over at the community center presently. And they don't have, a facility to go to right now. So they actually just get like 2 times a week for about 2 hours. They pull this net across one side of the basketball gym, and they're able to practice. And in spite of the lack of facilities and access to resources, this program has generated full ride scholarships for high school graduates to go off to college. So the program is really world class, and we're very fortunate to have 2 incredible instructors who were semi-pros and pros for the better duration of the last 50 years themselves, and are very knowledgeable to the extent that I have now picked up the sport as well. And even my father, who is pushing 70, has picked up more 2 bows and has started, like, takes him back to his youth in the Boy Scouts, where that was part of their regular curriculum. And I think it's very therapeutic for him. So I'm hoping that with the town's input, we can create something really special that can be more than just an earmarked area of a park, but actually be somewhere where USA Archery can hold some competitions and bring some extra commerce into town and things of that nature. But it's not just us alone at this point. We actually have a lot of resources from another nonprofit known as the Easton Foundation, who we've been in communication with in terms of what exactly we should be trying to accomplish here. Because if you don't know anything about Easton, Easton is the company that makes pretty much all sports gear. So if you watch a Major League Baseball game and you look closely at, say, the catcher, you know, his mask and his pads will probably say Easton on him. If you go to a Lightning game and look at any of the players, but particularly the goalies, you usually see the logos on everything, like that, from the helmets down to the skates. And so they have a nonprofit foundation specifically designed to provide logistical and financial support to growing the sport of archery, because they also make a lot of archery equipment, specifically like the bells and whistles that go with archery. So the arrows and targets and things of that nature. So they're ecstatic because they know that Florida as a whole, but especially Pinellas County, has a very underwhelming presence for the sport. So they have volunteered a lot of resources to us, far more than I would have ever asked them for. And there's a number of other organizations that could possibly also support us in the effort. So if the town is excited about it, we can make that happen relatively quickly.
That's great. And is there a way that our listeners could support that, or kind of, make the process go smoother for that?
Excellent question. Yeah, absolutely. So again, if you go back to our Facebook page, there should be a link to an online survey. The survey is really more to get a gauge from our perspective, what exactly might be more valuable to everybody around town. And we've learned that there's thousands of archers here in Pinellas that they have to drive a minimum of an hour to get to any kind of facility for themselves. They're usually not either well maintained or they're private, so it can be expensive. And I think the closest real facility is out north of Gainesville in a town called Castleberry, where I don't know about you, but I'd like to not drive 4 hours on a given day if I wanted to practice something that I am doing. So that being said, if you want to fill out the survey, please, by all means, go fill it out. There's also a couple of hand copies of surveys around town that I've been dropping off at random commercial locations. So you might see it on some of the registration, near the register or something of that nature. And if it catches your eye, go ahead and jot your name down in there, because we'll run around and collect them up at some point.
Nice. So you guys also do some work with local nonprofits. So tell us a little bit about the nonprofits that you support locally.
Yeah, I don't know if there's enough time in your podcast to go through all of them. In fact, I think recently I've been trying to organize these as much as possible and sitting down with Ellie. I know we missed a few, but we're in the realm of like 50 different organizations or events that we support in a given year. So let's just try and hammer out the ones that are off the top of my head, and then maybe Ellie can clean up whatever I miss. So the first one that comes to mind is House of Mercy, since that's how we kind of know you, Stacy, so Home and Kimberly Home. We provide funding to the Special Olympics. I think Ellie mentioned the amputee camp. The golf scramble you mentioned, the proceeds went to Chichi Rodriguez Foundation, which is a really excellent youth organization as well. I know we help the Salvation Army. Obviously the Parks and Recreation Department with the Every Child Swimmer and the projects and things of that nature. We're in a lot of different schools, elementary, middle, and high. And we also have a handful of, we have a Head Start program. We provide some scholarships every year to excelling high school graduates for college. Oh boy, it seems like a lot. Ellie, what did I miss? Anything? I'm sure I missed a lot, but moreover, anything that you can think of off the top of your head?
No, just our major projects that we've done over the years, like the fitness zone out at Weaver Park. We were partners in that with the city. The community center has a boundless playground. That was one of our first projects we did. And kids of any any handicapped or not can use the playground. It's really nice. But we also are a big part of the schools. We have programs with the elementary schools called Terrific Kids. That's just recognizing a child from each grade when they're just being good kids, being respectful, and it's like a citizenship of the month thing, but it's just an overall good kid award. And there's also a bug program. It's bringing up grades. The kids do well in the following. They bring up their grades, they get recognized. In the elementary school, we have a lot of service leadership programs. We have called the K Kids in the elementary school. We have one at Curtis Elementary, the Builders Club at the Dunedin Highland Middle School. And the Dunedin Highland Middle School Builders Club actually started what they call a thread closet, where kids can go in and just, if they need clothes, they can take as much as they need for their families if they're in need. Then in the high school, we have our Key Club, which is service leadership program, where they learn giving back to the community through service in their schools. And they earn, it's definitely great for bright futures because we're definitely recognized by colleges. Even if being a member of Key Club, you're recognized because it's an international club even for them. Fun fact about Key Club, they were before Kiwanis Club, the Key Club allowed women into their organization. This is many moons ago, but they were the first, so they're definitely innovative. I love working with them. I'm their advisor for the Dunedin High School, and they're just a fantastic group of kids. It's been hard this year because it's all been through their Microsoft Teams, but it's been a little harder, but they're still active and they still do projects. They adopt a mile on County Road 1 4 times a year at least. They do it quite often because that's really the only way to be getting service hours. It's the only outside activity that they can do. So they've been very active. So I'm very proud of them. And our club doesn't, but there's also a CKI, which is a Circle K International, which is college level service leadership. So it goes on and on. So yes, I'm very proud of them.
Now, I just want to circle back to the clothes closet that you're talking about, and Tia mentioned her interest in giving to. How does one donate to that?
Well, that's a good question because, of course, though, if you drop anything, drop by the school, the Dunedin Highland office, I'm sure they'd accept it. I don't know if they like me mentioning it. I don't know how busy they'd be, but or our club will be happy to pick up or whatever. The only thing that is new that our club definitely buys each year is, of course, the underwear, socks, and the personal items are new, but everything else is gently used or, whatever. We clean them up and put them on the rack. So yes, it's
awesome.
Yes, it's really a great project. We actually got the idea from Carwise Middle. The Top of the Bay Club started one there, and it's they just inspired us to do it. Mm-hmm. And so we started one at Dunedin Highland Middle.
So how can people support the Dunedin Kiwanis Club? Can they give donations? Can they, if they don't want to become a member, can they help out at events?
Yeah, absolutely. All the above. So, so if you go to the web page or the Facebook page, there are donation options on there that you can help us financially, which we would love because we are very efficient with the funds that we raise. We're not just sitting on it or trying to squander any of those resources. We really do put them right back into the community. In terms of volunteering, yes, you don't have to be a Kiwanis member to actually volunteer at any of our events. So just reach out to us via one of those sources or even a phone call. If you can, we have some phone numbers listed, and you can volunteer for an event that's coming up or put your name down on a list for future events that we can touch base with you when we have something going on and share with you the details of the day and time. That if you're available, by all means, come on out and help. And then even just kind of getting the word out, share our Facebook page, tell your friends. I think word of mouth is really kind of the heart and soul of Dunedin as a whole. All of our businesses are pretty mom and pop, even if no matter what their size is. And that's how I feel like we really run our town is we improve the service quality as much as possible in a commercial setting. And that's what kind of drives your business, and the Kiwanis aren't any different. we maintain a high level of service to the community, and we ensure that, we're able to do as much good as possible. And if we have more support, we can do more good.
Mhm. Beautifully said. And what is the website for people to visit?
It is DunedinKiwanis.org, and it's Kiwanis, Kiwanis.
And also, I want to tell people, if they don't already follow our Facebook page, Kiwanis Club of Dunedin, please do that as well. So, rounding out our interview, tell us how someone can become a member of the club, or if they just want to check it out, where do you guys meet and when do you meet?
Yeah, so we meet at 7:30 a.m. At Marguerite's Cafe on Thursdays, every Thursday. You can attend any of them anytime. Our first meeting of every month is usually a board meeting, which I also still recommend coming to, so you can see how we go about voting and establishing who we're going to be supporting, when, where, how, etc. Marguerite's Cafe is delicious. So the food will be phenomenal. And when you first show up, it's treated, so you don't have to pay. So there's that. That's your bribe to come in and check us out. Then on top of that, I know mornings are not the best for everybody. So every month we do try to do an evening event that will be usually at some type of establishment that serves adult beverages and is a little more relaxed, but we still do go through the agenda of things, so you can still learn a little bit and understand who we are at a different time frame. If the mornings aren't good for your schedule, once a month is a much easier thing to try and earmark for your calendar. The reason we're at Marguerite's presently is because our former location was not available during COVID, and we were Zoom meeting for the last year. And as we've started to transition our way back into physical meetings, we have both. We have a Zoom meeting and we have a physical meeting. And the space at Marguerite's we love, it's great, but if everybody starts to come back and if we have some guests that start to show up, we're going to need to find a new location. That area has not exactly been established yet. So bear in mind that we will be putting out information about whatever those changes may be in the coming weeks, months, or however long it takes. But that being said, perhaps you're not comfortable with meeting us in person yet, or perhaps that 7:30 mark is a little tough and you want to come and you can be up by 7:30, but you can't physically be there presentable. We can easily send you the Zoom invitation and you can join us via Zoom. And then you won't get free breakfast unless you make it for yourself, but you can at least listen in and see the people and what it is we do.
Can you mail it to me, the breakfast? Since I am attending.
Sure.
Just Uber Eats, Uber delivery it to me. It's fine.
All right.
I'll pay the delivery fee. That's all.
All right. Well, thank you so much to both Ellie and Justin for being on the show today. We really appreciate you guys taking a moment out of your very busy schedules, especially Ellie with all the clubs that you volunteer in and are part of. Thank you so much for telling our listeners about the Kiwanis Club of Dunedin. We appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
And thank you for having us. It's been nice.
The fun game portion. So we've got two of you today. So we are going to be playing a trivia game, and it's a battle to the death. Ooh. That's right. Grab your swords, everyone. But it is a trivia game, and you will be battling each other. So I'm going to be asking you 10 random questions, and whoever knows the answers first, just yell it out. Because we're not even going to do hand raising or anything. We're just, whoever I hear first, that's who gets the point. You guys ready? You feeling ready? Feeling confident?
As ready as I'll be.
As ever.
Perfect. That's the spirit. All right. So, 10 questions. Whoever yells them out first. Stacy, will you be our scorekeeper?
Oh, sure.
All right. And we are off. A group of otters is called a what?
Oh my goodness. A litter. I don't know.
It's a good guess. I was gonna say, I don't know.
It's called a raft.
A raft.
Right.
We're off to a great start.
It is.
Right. So 0 and 0.
There you go. Who is Tippi Hedren's daughter?
I know that.
I don't know this, but I should. I've heard it.
Tippi Hedren, in case no one's exactly sure who's listening, is the actress from The Birds.
Yeah, I know. I was just talking about her.
Is it?
She is.
Can you just tell us the answer?
All right,
There's a lot of
Melanie
people listening.
Griffith.
Melanie Griffith?
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, that's not who I was.
0-0.
I'm sure
Those
there are
are-
listeners who know all these answers who are pulling their hair out listening to
Yeah.
us. So
I usually
Lady, you should
These
know
are
that.
hard.
this is your
These are
motivation to
usually-
come to the
these are-
meetings so that you can be our trivia specialist, because we do
There you
actually do a
go.
fundraiser every year that's trivia related.
This is question number 3. What are the 2 main ingredients of Hollandaise sauce?
Ew. I don't like Hollandaise sauce.
I'm
I don't
literally
either.
picking so random just to like give you a wide net. One of the ingredients comes from a chicken.
Okay.
The other one comes from a cow.
Milk
No, it has to be not just milk.
and eggs. Milk and eggs. Worth a shot. Goes in almost everything, right?
You've got half.
Lemon juice.
Lemon juice.
One from a cow. One from yes, the cow is filled with lemon juice. Like that
No,
comes
but
out
I
of the
think
freaking-
lemon juice is in Hollandaise.
It's not one of the, no. I say
never
one's from
mind.
a chicken and one's from a cow.
Will you say which one of
Can I
the
pick
ingredients
now?
is from here?
The chicken, we've got an egg.
Okay.
We're losing our audience, Tia. Roll it along.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. All right. This
No,
is going awful. Okay.
All this out,
Butter. Egg yolks and liquid butter. I was literally just gonna take eggs and butter though. I wasn't gonna make you.
Yeah.
All right, question number 4. We're still at a tie. And that tie is 0-0.
Zero. Big egg. Big egg.
Oh,
What animal provides a large portion of all of the protein eaten in Peru?
Ooh, Peru.
What is Peru known to eat that us in America think is kind of weird?
Goat?
Because we keep them as pets.
oh. Yeesh.
Oh, it's not dog, is it? Horse?
Not that sick.
Horse? No.
No.
Goat?
I don't know.
Alpaca.
They are in the rodent family.
Oh, really? Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
Mice?
I just started playing along too.
I know, Stacy, please do now.
Yeah, she's
We
the third
need a
contestant
third.
now. The score's all even anyway.
Yeah, exactly. The answer is guinea pigs. We're just
Oh.
gonna move right
Oh.
along now.
All
I'm
right.
all right, so it's still tied. Now it's 0-0-0 because Stacy is now playing.
Sure had. Thanks, Stace.
Mhm.
What are the colors of the 5 Olympic rings?
Oh.
Mm.
Let's start
If
with
you
blue.
can give me one of the colors of
Go
the
with
5
blue.
Olympic rings.
Go
All right,
with
Justin
blue.
got one. He said blue.
Okay. I got a fraction of a point, and I think black is one, right?
I like this thing gold.
Black and yellow are both ones. We can start. Do you want to make up
All right,
some
we
of the
got
points?
so there's
We'll
5
just-
rings. There's 3 right there.
Yeah, there's
Red.
There.
Red.
Yep.
Green.
green. Oh,
Hey.
Hey, all right.
All right, we
got
all
it.
got a point for that one.
All right. Team effort. All right. So it's still tied. 1-1 and 1. In sports, what does LPGA stand for?
Ladies Professional Golf Association.
ooh.
There it is. All right.
All right, Justin steals
Pulling
the
ahead.
lead.
The zodiac sign Cancer refers to what animal?
Crab.
Crab.
There it is. Woo!
I'll give that one to Ellie.
All right, so all right, so we've tied back up with Justin and Stacy's behind, but we don't care about her score, so it's okay.
No.
A Bloody Mary is a cocktail made with tomato juice and what type of alcohol?
Vodka.
Yeah.
In the US, the Horn of Plenty is a common symbol of which holiday?
Thanksgiving.
There it is. What gets wetter and wetter the more it dries?
Towel.
Ding, 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 ding.
Whoa, yes,
You
yes,
got the
yes.
answer.
Ellie's the winner.
You now have bragging rights at your next board meeting.
Hey.
Congratulations.
Miss Kiwanis.
There you
Yes, we'll get you the sash and the ribbon now that says winner of Meet Us on Main Street's tribute trivia
Those were
quiz.
hard questions.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for being such great sports in the trivia edition of Meet Us on Main Street. Thank you.
Thank you again for having us. It's been fun.
Thank you so much to Justin and Ellie for being on the show today and for telling us all about the Kiwanis Club of Dunedin. I know I love being a member of the club, and I hope that some of you are inspired to join now, because we'd love to have you as members also.
Yeah, and I'm inspired that we're going to do a virtual 5K for them now for their midnight run. Get
Whoop,
excited, guys. All righty. Well, we've got some events for you as per usual at the end of our episode from the dates of 6/3 to 6/17. And starting it off is going to be Stacy.
All right. So this month, the month of June, that is, from June 1st to June 30th, there's going to be all kinds of events going on at Straub Park in St. Pete because it is Pride Month. And so they're going to be doing the St. Pete Pride Fest all month long with all kinds of events. So just go on Facebook and look up St. Pete Pride Fest and you'll see all the events going on. The Tampa Theater is reopened and they have their Summer Classic series back. They're kicking it off with the good old classic, The Wizard of Oz, on Friday, June 4th at 7:30 p.m. So check out the Tampa Theater's website. And next up on Saturday, June 5th at 8 a.m. is the first annual Her Run for the nonprofit Empowerment in Clearwater. So go ahead and do that 5K to get warmed up for the Kiwanis Midnight Run.
Exactly. All right. And then on Monday, 6/7 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., there is a Botanicals and Brews going on at Troubled Waters Brewery in Safety Harbor. It is an evening market that is dedicated to everything plants and delicious beer located at Troubled Waters Brewing. So that is on 6/7.
And then on Wednesday, June 9th at 5:30 p.m. at Reboot in Dunedin, there's going to be the Sketch Wars Summer Tournament, where a couple of artists are going to sketch it out and see who the superior artist is. So check that out on June 9th at Reboot.
Riveting. And on 6/11, that's a Friday and second Friday in Dunedin, we are having our third annual Paint Dunedin Purple. So bust out those purple shirts, those purple pants, anything you've got. Go to downtown and bring awareness to Alzheimer's. There it is.
Alzheimer's.
Or old timers. I can't ever say that word correctly.
All of that is confusing to you. I know.
It's all. Anyways, wear purple on June 11th down in downtown Dunedin. Participating shops will be on their Facebook page of different things that they are doing for Paint Dunedin Purple. So come on out to Dunedin. Does
a raspberry beret count?
Sure. It's in the purple family. It's all that counts.
Perhaps it will purple rain that day.
And
I'll stop with the Prince jokes. Okay.
It's staying in Dunedin on 6/12 and completely ignoring my co-host is the June beach cleanup with Salty Soul down on Dunedin Causeway, which we will be at as well. And that's starting at 9 a.m. down by the paddle boats and kayak center on Dunedin Causeway. You'll see a giant sign that says Salty Soul, and you will see us on Facebook Live as well. So hopefully we can see you on out there, clean up our Dunedin Causeway.
Mm-hmm.
And then rounding out our picks, the Ink the Bay Convention Tattoo Arts Fashion Media at Tampa Convention Center. That's June 11th through June 13th. COVID's over in Florida, guys. So you guys have lots and lots of options.
Mm-hmm. Get on out there.
Get on out there. Go have fun. It's been a long year and a half, so now it's time to have fun. If you haven't yet, can you go on over to Apple Podcasts and rate, review, and subscribe our beautiful podcast so that it can be distributed out to even more lovely fans? And we would appreciate that. And that's it. That's all I've got. And we still haven't found a way to end the show properly. So as usual, goodbye.
As usual, ta-ta.
Goodbye. Good evening and good night.